Hello, everyone. This is Lenard Guzman here with Emily Robinson on the Life After D podcast. It is July 23rd, 2021. You can't like I don't know what it is about Fridays. Like it's like sometimes I work like through the weekend, but Friday always has a thing to it. We're here in Los Angeles County. They just announced last week we're gonna have to put masks like indoors, right? So that affects school. Um, what's the word? I know you got kids that you have to like take out of school, put in school.
Yeah, it's frustrating and stressful. We're back to masks indoors in LA, but not in Ventura. So you have to wear them in the LA court and not in the Ventura court. You can though if you want to, but things are opening up, but then they're closing again. It's just so frustrating. So I'm wondering how school's going to work in the fall, and I'm praying my kids can go back in person because I don't want to do another year of homeschool.
Yeah, it's like you're at a stoplight. It's like it's always on caution. It's like we're yellow, green. It's like so.
And the kids are missing out on socialization that's so important for them. So it's really hard.
Yeah, and then you have to count the parents too, right?
Yep.
Parents need some
Oh,
socialization too.
all parents should get you know what the government should send us instead of stimulus money? They should send like masseuses to our house to like give free massages for all the stress that we're going through, or bottles of wine or something that we can use to decrease stress.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to talk to the governor about that. But
I know, right?
we'll see. I don't know if there's gonna be a new governor here in California. So
Well, that's part of the problem. I know I sound cynical, but there's a recall going on. So the governor, how much of what he does is to save his skin versus what's best for us, that because in my opinion, probably all of California should have a mask mandate right now with the way the numbers are going up. But he's not going to do that, I bet, because he doesn't want to lose his recall effort. So
yeah, so it's all tied in. It affects us, and then you got the water drought that's kind of looming, and so it all kind of ties together. With that said, let's get to the part of the show where we go over news. We go over the divorce news of the day. I see here celebrity news. We run into celebrity news. We see what's trending, and Emily can kind of tell us what's actually real sometimes, right? In the
let
celebrity
me
world.
guess, Kim Kardashian.
Yes. So let's get to the Brad Pitt Angelina story.
Oh, they're
So
still in the news?
yeah, it is. This just happened today. So the Jolie Pitt divorce judge disqualified by appeals court. Here's the story. A California appeals court on Friday disqualified a private judge being used by Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt in their divorce case, handing Jolie a major victory. The Second District Court of Appeal agreed with Jolie that Judge John W. Uderick, Uderkirk didn't sufficiently disclose business relationship with Pitt's attorneys. Ooh. Uh,
Ooh.
Judge Uderkirk's ethical breach considered together with the information disclosed concerning his recent professional relationships with Pitt's counsel might cause an objective person aware of all the facts reasonably to entertain a doubt as to uh, the judge's ability to be impartial. Disqualification is required, the court ruled. The decision means the custody fight over the couple's five minor children, which was nearing an end, could be starting over. The judge already ruled the pair divorced, but separated the child custody issues. Like many celebrity couples, Pitt and Jolie opted to hire their own judge to increase their privacy in divorce proceedings. So, is this what do you call this? Uh, like conflict of interest? How does this work?
Well, apparently, the court found it to be a conflict of interest. A lot of celebrities do hire private judges because it keeps your case more private and you get faster service because you're working on your own calendars, not the court's calendar. Um, but, if you find a conflict of interest or something that you think is unfair, then yeah, you can request to have that judge disqualified, and that's what they did. And apparently the district court did find that there was a conflict of interest. Um, and now they'll have to get a new private judge or go back into the public court system. I'm sure with these, celebrity attorneys, there probably is a lot of business dealings between them and the private judges because they use them all the time. But whatever the business dealing was, it was, I guess, obviously to an extent that was not okay.
So is this a common thing? Like, I guess these judges are assigned in a way randomly, right? If it was like public, like a normal divorce case, and then like, is so like if I'm like related to a judge somehow, they would have to like, hey, get another judge, and how does this work?
Right. So publicly, you're assigned randomly. And if that judge has a conflict with you, they have to disclose it. And if it is, then it's up to the attorneys. If they think that that conflict is bad enough, they can ask to switch judges. Or if the judge themselves thinks it's bad enough, they can recuse themselves and say, I can't do this case because I can't be objective. So, that's the issue there. With the private judges, you select them yourself. Both parties agree to a judge and you hire them and you pay them privately.
And then so the person, however the process is overseeing this, um, disclose probably the judge disclosed it, or because how would it even get to this point? Because they probably wasted I don't know how many months or even probably years. I didn't look into it, but how did it get to this point?
Well, the private judge is supposed to disclose their dealings with the parties or their attorneys in advance. But you know, I guess something must have come out that Angelina Jolie found out that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't disclosed or shared. And or she discovered the extent of the, dealings was a lot more than what was shared with her. Who knows how it came out? I mean, these people have people on the inside, so someone someone found it out.
All right, that's okay. So someone didn't like it. Maybe someone got shorted. But anyway,
But yeah, it's probably millions of dollars later, right?
all right, so let's go to the next story about Kim Kardashian. I go to this thing on Instagram where it's like the before, like the celebrity, like 10 years ago, and then now, and then the plastic surgery. Like, what do they get done? Because it's kind of like a face morph, but it's like Face app that there was a Face app where you could like if you wanted to see what you would look like in it knows. But this is I don't know. I thought about it. So yeah, like the Kardashian families they tell like, oh, okay, this I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so this article from L.com, how Kim Kardashian feels about Kanye West singing about their divorce and losing my family on I guess an album, Donda album. So Kanye West had a huge listening party for his new album, Donda, that Kim Kardashian and their four children attended last night. While the full songs and lyrics aren't out yet, West made headlines by addressing his February divorce from Kardashian in his track, seemingly called Losing My Family. Music site Genius has tentative lyrics, although since the album isn't out yet, they aren't 100% complete or confirmed. Um, let's not. I can't sing this or rap this, so I'm just gonna. We'll just move. We'll just go past the lyrics. It looks generic, like a generic like love lost song. So, how does Kardashian feel about West turning their marital struggles into music? He got comprehensive intel from a source that Kardashian's thoughts and involvement in the tracks. Um, Kanye did write a song about Kim and their marriage, and Kim gave her input about it. She was respectful and gave her the heads up and did not want to blindside her. I want to hear this album now. I'm going for the bait. I got to listen to this album now.
I mean, the thing is, isn't that how most musicians get their inspiration from things that happened in their life? That's what they write about. And I don't know if you can really stop somebody from like sharing their own life story. It's not slander, it's your life. So, um, you know, I I think it would be permissible. I mean, I suppose if you use someone's likeness without their permission or invade their privacy in some inappropriate way, that's something the court could stop. But um, writing about your own heartbreak, I mean, that's what Taylor Swift like made her entire living on, writing about her ex-boyfriends. I don't see how you can stop something like that. Once you are a celebrity and you put your image out there and your face, you're to some degree you are consenting to your life being public, and that's why there can be paparazzi. I mean, the paparazzi can get sued when they hurt someone or overstep their bounds, but you can't stop paparazzi and you can't stop people from being public figures. They're a public figure. The rules to protect you are different than a private citizen.
That's interesting. It's like saying, "Oh, I want privacy," but you're here in like Los Angeles, like in the middle of the epicenter of the paparazzi, like TMZ, when you have, the luxury and the privilege to move to like Wyoming, where no one will bug you. So it's like
Right.
I
Well,
want it, but I don't want it.
that's what it comes down to. If you want that job where you have the money and the fame and you know, the fancy life, that there's a downside.
All right, we'll move to another musician here. Dr. Dre ordered to pay Nicole Young, his ex, 3.5 million a year in spouse support amid divorce. It's a fraction of the 2 million per month Nicole and her lawyers demanded. A source familiar with the situation tells People. So this is from People.com. Dr. Dre will be paying more than 3.5 million a year in spousal support to his ex-wife Nicole Young. On Tuesday, a Los Angeles court ordered the music mogul 56 to pay Nicole 51 $293,306 each month in spousal support, covering the expenses of their Malibu and Palisades homes, along with taking care of Nicole's health insurance. The agreement, which is consistent with the couple's prenup agreement, will be set in place until Nicole remarries or enters in a new domestic partnership. Either of them dies or until further order of the court. The former couple shares son Truce 24 and Truly 20. The support order is consistent with what he has already been paying since the initial separation. It is a fraction of the 2 million per month Nicole and her lawyers demanded. Ooh.
How? Well, the judge has a lot of discretion with spousal support, and it's, meant to be keep you in your standard of living and be enough for you to carry on your lifestyle, but it's not meant to be a punishment to your spouse. So, the court comes up with what they think is a fair number to keep you afloat and to, have your spouse, make sure your spouse is supporting you. To think that you need more than $293,000 a month, I think most people could live on that. So, they probably were demanding a certain percentage of his income, but the court has the power to award what the court thinks is fair. And when somebody's a particularly high earner, you don't necessarily get, the typical 40% of their gross income or whatever, because it's excessive.
So they negotiated this, and there's like a formula to it. So could I guess Nicole Young, could she have said, "Hey, I want like a lump sum," because it's negotiable, right? Oh no, he has a prenup, and this is negotiated, and he's like, okay, because if Dr. Dre didn't want to pay it, he's like, you get this, and that's it. So she's entitled to it, right? And I do. So I guess she's never going to get married. Like, why would you ever give this up, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. However, on the other hand, the court can stop it at some point if they feel you've paid long enough and
Mm,
various other factors. Also, living with someone
mm,
can lower it, and he and yet you can negotiate anything you want for most issues. Like he could negotiate to pay her a lump sum and just be like, "I'm giving you this, and I'm done." And if she wanted to take it, she could.
mm. Okay. Wow, 3.5. That's okay. All right. So with that said, let's move on. Let's move on to regular people. Um, and in this segment of the show, dear Emily, we're gonna go over posts about what people going through the divorce journey. Maybe this is their they're starting out in the journey, the process. Maybe they have problems with child support, spousal. So let's see. Let's see what we get today. Hmm. All right. So here's a getting started one. I don't like that one's too long. All right. Okay. Let's do a getting started one. All right. So today I started packing, getting my house ready to sell. This is painful, especially all the pictures and putting things in boxes from 16 years of life together. It sucks, but he is happy and will spend his weekend with his fair girlfriend while I pack, clean, and prepare myself and my daughter to move 1,000 miles away. I just looked around and realized this shit's real. He really doesn't love me, and our marriage is over.
Oh, that's so hard. It's the beginning is the hardest, I think, because you have to accept that the life you pictured for yourself is changing and it's not going to be what you had hoped for. Um, and so, I think that post is like kind of where it's really raw and it's the beginning. But that is true that you have to accept it and move on. But people need help accepting it sometimes. It's not just easy and automatic. So don't feel ashamed if you need help, if you need some, therapy or a support group. Like that is the best thing to do in this situation so that you can find a way to accept it.
All right, here's another getting started one. It's about separation. When the other person asks for separation, stating they need time and space, I want so badly to text him and say good morning and know how he slept, but probably should honor his request and keep it to myself, right? This all happened last night.
What was that? This all happened last night.
Yeah, I guess they're like in the process of getting separated. Like, how does that work? Like, dude, like in a marriage, you say I want to be separated, or like, how does this work?
Well, that's really raw if it just happened last night. I mean, it's tough. I mean, people ask me a lot, what's the way to tell my spouse or how do I like just do it or what, or get separated. And it's different for everyone. I always say if you're talking to a therapist, like ask them the best way to share it. But um yeah, I think, you have to have that difficult conversation. Don't be the person that like breaks up on a text or an email. Like that's the worst. Um find a way to and the right words to say it. And you know a lot of times people will ask each other not to share it yet or something, but obviously you need your own support people to talk to. So I think, maybe you don't need to go post it on Facebook, but talking to your mom or your best friend is a good idea to protect you.
Hey, don't put it on Facebook. You're just gonna incriminate yourself. I feel like when you post something, it never helps you. Like in court, this things we've seen. It's never like, oh, like the person posting it, it never is a positive thing when they bring it up in court. I've never heard someone say, oh yeah, they benefited from that great post.
They almost always backfire.
All right, let's go to the next one. So this is a life after divorce. How long after the final order did you receive your spouse's retirement? It's been 3 months, and I'm wondering if I'm supposed to have done something. My spouse is a government employee, and the judge ordered I get half of it. Was I supposed to do something? I'm
Mm.
retired on a pension and don't have any retirement account set up. Do the funds just go in my bank account?
So yes, you have to do something. It doesn't just automatically appear in your account. I wish it did. Um, it depends on the kind of retirement account it is. If it's like an IRA, you have to roll it over. And usually that requires paperwork done with the IRA plan if to an IRA for you. If it's a 401k or a pension, you have to do what's called a qualified domestic relations order. And typically you have to pay an attorney to do that for you. And that will roll the funds over to you to like an IRA or something. But yeah, that has to actually, you have to take affirmative steps to do that.
All right, that was our last post of the day. I know like things are not just in California, but everywhere else. Things are kind of stopping and going. I guess like divorce court, it's kind of in person. Some things are like in person, some things are on Zoom. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, it's still, you have the option to go on Zoom. In September, that's changing in Ventura. It's going to go back to in person at the moment. In LA, they may keep the Zoom capability. Don't know yet. I assume they will because they invested so much in coming up with it. But you can also go in person if you prefer.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Join us next week on the Life After D podcast.